generalized cell. Or in other words, mas focus ta sa animal kay more or less ano man the organs that are found in animals are also found in humans. And then after that, we will have our topic on cell transport mechanisms. So we will get to know again, or we will get to review the two types of cell transport, passive and active transport. And then after that, we will have, of course, a cell cycle. You know already about that one. Um, we have there are two types of the cell cycle, or sometimes also we also use the term cell division. So we have two types for that one, mitosis and meiosis. And then after that one, we will have the central dogma of molecular biology, which concerns the structure of the DNA, as well as the process of DNA replication, and as well as the process of transcription and translation. Okay, so that's for today. But since we will only have an an hour and 30 minutes, actually nakuhaan gyud tag mga ano pila ka minutes po, no. So we will focus first on, if makaya, we will cover at least the first two topics of the four. Okay? So do you have kung wala na may question, no, we will proceed. Ay, wait lang. Before I forget, no. So as you all know, next week, no, we will not have classes, no. Classes will be temporarily suspended because of the Paugnat 2025, no? So, ano ni siya, I just received communication yesterday from your SCST president that there will be a memorandum from the VCAA that your attendance will be checked during those days, no? So, class, this is your opportunity to take part in Paugnat. Dili maski man dili mo athlete, no, you can also join the other activities natay mga larong lahi, natay katong mga recreational games like katong Jenga, sa pa Scrabble, Uno, no. So I highly encourage you to join, no. Dili man kailangan nga athlete mo, kaya pwede man mo mag-participate sa other nga activities nga dili gyud really related to sports, no. Kay well, technically ang paugnat is kwan man gyud, no, in terms ninyo, no. So I highly encourage everyone, no, and also as the moderator of the student council, no, gina I, ikaw I will be checking on with the officers, no, on really making sure that your attendance is, no, ma-check gyud siya. So hopefully ma-relay. By the way, kinsa ang atuang class rep dire? Nakapili na ba mo?
Ako,
Class?
sir.
Ay, ikaw, French? Sige, French. Kana French siya, well, of course, kay kabalong pag na pagka sa council, so please, kung pwede, ma-encourage yun yung mga classmates to, ano, no, to really join, no, to join the different activities kay, no, especially nga makaboost po siya moral po, especially for you as members of CSTE, no. And for sure, napod sa uban ninyo mamalit og merch, no, pamalit mog merch. So, lang sir. So, please pamalit mong merch ha, and then ano lang dayon, make sure lang you'll be here at least for the duration of Paugnat. Okay? So, that's it. Okay. Anyway, so this time, let's proceed now to our lesson. um kani siya actually kay ako naman yung share ninyo kagahapon, but I will be sharing as well with you an updated version, no. Probably after class na later mag-share ko sa updated version niya, no. So this is now, kung sa book actually this is chapter 3. But since I'll be skipping one chapter of the book, I will have chapter 3, cells and tissues, but I will be dividing the topic into two since ang kani siya nga topic ay medyo comprehensive. Sa cells palandaan, upat na ka major topics, no? Ang sa cells. So I'll be dividing the chapter into two. So we'll have part 1 which concerns cells, and then sorry, the next week, the week after the week after paugnat, we will have chapter 3, which is basically part B or part 2 of chapter 3, which is on tissues, no. Ilahi na tong tissues class kay anong good siya kailangan mo og solid understanding man good about tissues, especially the four major types of tissues is because if you will not have a solid understanding about tissues, maglisod mo og understand how basically ang structures, ang anatomy sa different organs in each organ systems, you will have a bit of difficulty in understanding them kung medyo huyang atong ano no ang atong foundation sa tissues, no. No, so for this meeting, but for this week rather, we will our focus will be on, no, we will have our focus on cells, no. So allow me to share my presentation. Okay, I hope my audio is clear. Okay. Okay, makita na ba ang presentation, class? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
makita na, no. Okay, so you're now in chapter 2, cells, the living units. So every now and then, ako yung mga i-ask ko questions sa inyo because I strongly believe that you already have a solid foundation of this one last year, no? Sa inyong cell and molecular biology class. Okay, so let's proceed. Of course, we all know that cells and tissues are mugini siya ang pinaka foundation sa living organisms. For us humans, no, cells and tissues provides us with the essentials that we need for us to do our daily functions. No, so cells and tissues carry out all chemical activities needed, no, to sustain life. So the reason why we are able to do these different amazing things daily is because of the all the hard work that our cells and tissues are doing, no, every single day. And right now, at this moment, no, you may not be conscious, but your body is actually doing a lot of things, no. For one, the breakfast you ate earlier, or kung depende na lang kung nag-breakfast mo or wala. So the breakfast you ate earlier is currently being digested by your digestive system, as well as the transportation of by the moment at this moment right now you may be breathing, and this breathing makes gas exchange possible. So we have all our cells and tissues to thank for, no? And as you all know, the building blocks of all living things are cells. So it's a basic unit of life. And then tissues, on the other hand, are aggregates. These are groups of cells that are working together to perform a common function. So it is expected that when these cells group together, they're expected to have to be similar rather in their structure as well as in their function. Okay, so that's it. Okay. So let's have a review, no? Kani siya review lang ni siya, no? So kani wala lang kay ni siya na-emphasize last year sa atong ano. Wala kay ni siya na-emphasize sa tuwang class, no? So na siya three main regions. So the three main regions are the following. We have the nucleus, we have the cytoplasm, and the plasma membrane. Okay? So mo ni ang atuang three main regions, no? Although, no, in with respect to other living organisms such as plants, other animals, and even microorganisms, no, we also share some common characteristics or some common general structures. But since our focus is on the human cell, we will be focusing on the generalized cell. So in a generalized cell, muni ang atuang main regions. Okay? So we have the nucleus, we have the cytoplasm, and the plasma membrane. Okay, let's just have a review of these different organelles first. Okay? So I might be asking questions every now and then, ha? Okay. Now, so as you all know, the nucleus is the control center of the cell, much like that of our nervous system, no? Or as my classmate would say it, the nervous system. Okay, so we have the nucleus for that one. So Marshall, kumbaga siya ang brain sa cell, no? So of course, no, it contains the genetic material, DNA. Now, among these different parts that you see here, or kaning labeled parts that you see here in our nucleus, which which contains the genetic material? Which of the following parts contains the genetic material? If you want to answer, please raise your virtual hand. Asa diri nga parts ang contain specifically sa genetic material nato? Anyone? Ala. Okay, French. Sige, French. What's the answer?
Sa nucleolus, sir?
Nucleolus. Okay. Now, nucleolus has a different function. Anyway, thank you so much, French. Sige, anyone who would like to try? Sige, Dran. Sige, Dran.
I think, sir, sa chromatin, sir, kaya akong na-remember, chromatin is the building blocks of protein o DNA, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Dan. No, so that's correct. No, so chromatin is the one or is the structure that contains the genetic material. So when we talk about chromatin, ang composition mo niya is basically it's the genetic material, which is DNA, and also some proteins that are associated with the arrangement of the chromatin. So kaning protein, we call this protein specifically histones, no? If you remember in our genetics class last year, no? Anyway, to continue, thank you so much, Dan, no? And then of course, no, ang atuang nucleus has three regions. First, we have the nuclear membrane. Let's see the nuclear membrane. Of course, muna siyang outside boundary niya, no? I think wala lang or pwede kaning nuclear envelope. Basically, kaning nuclear envelope, no? And then we also have the nucleolus, no? And of course the chromatin. Okay, so let's continue with the next part. So nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane serves as the barrier of the nucleus, and sometimes it's also called the nuclear envelope, as what was described in the picture or in the image earlier. No, so it's just like that of a plasma membrane. It's also consists of a double phospholipid membrane, and they contain nuclear pores. Um, Now, it's stated here that the nuclear pores contain, these nuclear pores that are contained within the nuclear membrane allows for the exchange of materials with the rest of the cell. Now, does anyone know what are these materials that are exchanged with the rest of the cell? Okay. If you want to answer, please raise your virtual hand. Kadali lang klasa while ano. Okay, sige. So now again, the question is, what are these materials that are exchanged, no, between the nucleus and the rest of the cell? Anyone has an idea? Sa kani nga mga
Protein, sir.
materials? Yes, Tessa.
Protein, sir, o katong ATP ba to, sir?
Protein and ATP. Protein and ATP actually are these are exchanged outside na ni siya. Outside na ni siya sa nucleus. Now, sige. Okay, si Dran na po. How about the others? I would like to encourage the others as well to answer. Sige. Para active atong discussion. Sige. Kay for sure you are able to recall many of these when you had our lesson on you had your lesson on the cell organelles. Sige. Anyone? Keep those answers coming. Sige, let's have Fedis.
Kung remember sir kay RNA?
Okay, RNA is one. Very good. Okay, napaisa. Napaisa. Napaisa nga gawas gikan sa nucleus nga magamit gyud siya sa cell. Unsa kani? Sige, let's continue. Sige, Fedis, follow up na lang.
Ay, kuan ba na sir? Enzymes or dili?
Okay, pwede ang enzymes. Okay, pwede. But most enzymes mo good are produced outside the cell. No? I mean, outside the nucleus. Meaning it's within the cytoplasm. I need one more. Okay. Okay, sige, let's have Christine.
Sa concept tRNA, sir.
Ang tRNA, oh, not so much because ang the ano mo gud kaning process of translation happens within the cytoplasm? Sige, Reina. Reina, tisa lang, medyo dili clear mo audio. Reina?
Nucleic acid, sir.
Nucleic acids. Well, ang nucleic acids kay contained naman siya inside it. Does not usually go out. Okay, so kung wala gyud makarecall, the answer is ribosomes. Remember, ang ribosomes are made within the nucleus. Particularly, there's a part where ribosomes are being synthesized. Now, can somebody tell me what part of the nucleus where the ribosomes are synthesized? Asa na siya gina-synthesize ang kaning ribosomes? Can anyone tell me asa ni siya nga part sa tuwang nucleus? Asa kani nga part sa nucleus ang gina-synthesize ang ribosomes. Okay, sige, let's have Jenny. Jenny?
Nucleolus, sir.
All right, exactly. That's the
Nucleolus.
one I'm looking for. Thank you so much, Jenny. Yes, so it's in the nucleolus where ribosomes are synthesized. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for those who took part in the recitation. Okay, anyway, mag-continue pagyapon ta. Now, let's have the next part, nucleoli. Nucleoli basically is just the plural form of nucleolus because the cell or human cells do not only have a single nucleolus but several nucleoli. Okay? So the nucleus in humans may contain one or more. Actually, more gan hindi siya isa lang do. It could contain one or more nucleoli. And it's the site of ribosome production. So the ribosomes are made inside the nucleus, particularly in the nucleoli. So ribosomes will then migrate to the cytoplasm through the nuclear pores. Dito sila mo exit. As well as sa katong gi-describe ka ganyan ni Fedis nga katong RNA, specifically the mRNA that is transcribed during transcription. Okay? So next, chromatin is the one that contains the genetic material. Inya naman yung describe ko ganiya. So it's scattered throughout the nucleus, no? So once the cell prepares for cell division, what happens to the chromatin? Can you still recall? Once may mahitabo sa chromatin, once the cell prepares during cell division. Anyone? Sige, okay, balik ta ni Dran. Okay, I will also encourage the others to answer. Sige, Dran.
For me, sir, kay katong imong question, sir, is mag-unwrap ang katong iyahang condensed DNA, sir. Mo reveal din to mo straighten up dayon siya ready for din kanang transcription ba na siya?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, now siguro no, just to rephrase lang what Dran has mentioned, no. The cell prepares its genetic material for cell division. So during interphase, no. Anyway, ato nang i-revisit ang katong kung ano katong stages of cell division. So interphase and the mitotic phase, no. So unahan sa nato ang interphase. So in this case, no, the chromatin will condense into something that we call kaning gitawag nga chromosome. If you remember in our genetics class, no, katong sige drawing katong murag butterfly, no. So muna siya ang atuang chromosomes, no. So basically the chromosomes are just made up of the chromatin that is condensed, no. Gi-condense siya and then these are organized according to the different sets of genes, no, that should be found in each chromosome, no. So muna siya ang importance sa chromatin. Kaya ang chromatin will then condense later on to become the chromosomes that are divided during cell division, no? So they condense to form chromosomes when the cell prepares to divide during the cell cycle. Okay, let's go now to the second part, which is the plasma membrane. Now, okay, before we proceed to this one, no, na ako'y duha ka questions sa inyo. Okay? I'll be typing this one in the chat box. So the first question would be, uh, Okay, na ko'y patana sa inyo nga video una. What is the fluid mosaic model? Okay. And the second part is describe the structure the structure of the sorry describe the structure of the cell membrane. Okay. So muna itong duha ka question nga I would like you to focus on as have you seen the questions na? Can you check the um meeting chat?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Nakita na?
sir.
Okay. So as we proceed, no, I'll be sharing with you a video that presents to us the structure or how the plasma membrane looks like. Okay. So I'll be stopping the sharing of this slide. Then I'll be sharing with you this one. Okay. Ayan pa sa. Okay. Right? Itang ka sa. I'm pretty sure you are much familiar with this one kay isa po ni sa yung favorite nga resource no or for videos no. I'm sure you're familiar with Amoeba Sisters no. Okay, kapag naman sa money no. Okay, Amoeba Sisters is very easy to very student friendly. It's very easy to understand. So, as you watch along the video, I want you to focus on the two questions that I posted earlier. Okay? Sige, let's have this one. Let me know if you can see the screen. Okay, can you see the screen now, class? Kita na ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige, I'll just hide this one. Okay. Sige, let's start.
In my second year of teaching, I was looking to improve an osmosis lab I had done the year previously. Osmosis, if you remember from our osmosis video, involves water traveling through a semi-permeable membrane, potentially a cell membrane, and I wanted a cool way that students could model this in different scenarios. And one of my colleagues told me about this egg lab. I won't get into the whole lab though, it was actually one of the first steps of the procedure that got to me. To get ready for the lab, my colleague told me, you can soak eggs in vinegar for 24 to 48 hours and the shell comes off. Oh, so I need to make hard-boiled eggs then. No, raw eggs. But if the shell comes off, well, that's the whole point. What's underneath the shell is going to mimic a cell membrane. It's kind of modeling how a cell membrane would function. You know, if the whole egg was actually like a cell. So then you run different scenarios with it for your osmosis lab because it will be a semi-permeable membrane, like a cell membrane. I couldn't visualize this. If the shell comes off, but it's a raw egg, how does it stay together? So I have this area in my house that's designated for things for me to try out. Don't worry, I always clean up afterwards. I tried this experiment out in advance, just to be sure. The hard shell is removed, but the membrane that was always there remains. We often visualize the membrane of a cell this way, like this membrane around the chicken egg. The cell membrane is semi-permeable, meaning it lets some materials through, but not others. We have an entire video all about cell transport and how materials can pass through the membrane. A cell could never be as large as a single chicken egg, though. Why? Well, it turns out surface area is a very important thing. Remember that surface area determines the surface measurements of that cell membrane, and the cell membrane controls what goes in and out of cells. That includes food coming in, as well as molecules that are essential for metabolic processes, and then also waste going out. If volume, which is all this space inside, increases, then you will have more need for surface area, as you will have more need for food to enter, more of a need for waste to be removed, and more metabolic reactions occurring in this larger volume in the first place. If we do a little bit of math here between these two models, I'm going to use popular cube models instead of egg-shaped models because it's a little faster for me to do surface area and volume calculations. See how here there is a big difference in surface area to volume in the smaller model? 6-to-1 ratio. That means the surface area in this small model is 6 times more than the volume. Look at this beautiful ratio with so much surface area. But if we look at this bigger cube and we do some math for this model, that surface area to volume ratio decreases. Sure, the surface area is still larger than the volume in the large model, but it's only 2 times as large now, not 6 times as large. Cells are way smaller than this small model here to allow for an exceptionally large surface area to volume ratio. And a major reason why we're not going to find a cell as big as this chicken egg here. Surface area is important. And while we can model a lot of the processes of cell transport from this egg membrane and how important the membrane is, I don't want to neglect talking about the amazing cell membrane structure itself, because the cell membrane structure truly is magnificent. And since every single living thing is made up of one or more cells, which is part of the cell theory, it's a big deal because every single cell has a membrane. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about bacteria, or protists, or plants, or animals, or fungi. Even archaea aren't too cool to have a membrane. They all have a cell membrane. The structure can vary some, but we're going to be talking about some major structures of the membrane that you can actually find in most cells. We should mention that the fluid mosaic model is often what we use to describe the cell membrane. A mosaic, in case you've ever created one, we did in some of our art classes over time, arranges many small pieces together to make some large piece. You'll see that that makes sense when describing the membrane in a minute. The word fluid implies movement, and this is true for the cell membrane as the components are floating around, they're not static. So let's take a look at some of these components in the cell membrane. We're looking first at a phospholipid bilayer. A phospholipid is a lipid, but an interesting one. So when you talk about a lipid in general, many lipids are nonpolar. Think of oil, for example. It's nonpolar. It won't dissolve in water. Water is polar. But a phospholipid is interesting because one part of it is polar, the head, and the other part of it is nonpolar, the tail. It's amphiphilic. Let's explain what we mean. We often refer to the polar head of the phospholipid as hydrophilic, which means that part loves water. Well, you know, if a lipid could love. The nonpolar tails are hydrophobic. They do not like water. These phospholipids
Hi there,
arrange
we're the
themselves
Amoebas
into a phospholipid bilayer with the nonpolar areas here in between, away from any water. It also allows this area in between to be separated from the outside and inside. Water can be found on the inside and outside areas. Also, these phospholipids, they don't just stay put. They move around. It's the fluid mosaic model after all. This gives the cell membrane flexibility. Phospholipids